Hello everybody, this is Lavakumar. I'm the author of IronWASP, which is one of the best web security testing tools out there. And in this video, I'm going to quickly show you how you can solve challenge 1 of the Pentester Academy web application challenges. So challenge 1 is the most simplest of all challenges, and it involves finding out the username and password of this specific login page. So if you were to enter any username and password here, it tells you you failed, please try again, which basically means the credentials are invalid. So the objective here is to find out a valid username and password, and we have been given a few clues. The usernames can be either Jack or admin, and they are in the form of an email, which means it will be jack@pentesteracademy.com or admin@pentesteracademy.com, and the passwords are the password is a 5-character word, and it only has the alphabets X, Y, and Z. So basically it means it's some word between this and this, and we would have to find out which one it is. So we have two options for the username, and then we have like a bunch of options for the password. So we would have to find out which is the valid username and which is a valid password. So that's what the challenge is about, and I'll show you how you can write your own password cracker to basically solve this particular challenge. I've written a detailed blog post on the IronWASP blog where I explain the different steps involved in solving this specific challenge. In this particular video, I'll just go over the major steps involved so that you get an idea about how to get started. Okay, now the first step is, let's find out how the login request actually looks. So I'm going to open up IronWASP. I have the challenge page open in Google Chrome. I go to IronWASP, I configure IronWASP as the proxy. So now all traffic from Google Chrome would go through IronWASP. So I'll just type in some username and password. I'll hit sign in. Okay. If I go back to IronWASP, I can actually see a new entry in the proxy area, in the log area, and so this is the login request. And if you go to the query section, I can see that the username and password values I entered are available here. The username value is stored in a parameter called email. The password value is stored in a parameter called password, and both of them are in the query part of the request. Okay, now if I were to send this request through a script, then I can go to the scripting shell of IronWASP, and I can say request.fromProxyLog, and I can give the log ID, which in this case is 1. So IronWASP fetches this request from the log and creates a request object. I can now update the email parameter of this request by doing so. And I can update the password field as well. Okay, so I've updated these values. Now I can send this request and get the response. Okay, if I go to the logs and if I go to shell logs, I can actually see this request that was sent, and you can see that the email value is jack@Pentester Academy and the password is xxxx. Okay, so now that we know how to create the request, update its username and password values and send it, the next step is to generate a list of all possible password combinations from XXXXXX to ZZZZZ, right? And doing this is actually quite easy in the latest version of IronWASP, because it has a class called as the brute forcer. The blog post has information about how to use the class. I'll just give you a quick demo. So I initiate the class. If I say total count, it tells me that there are totally 243 different word combinations for the input that I gave, and I can actually print out all of those combinations. Okay, so you can actually see that all the different combinations are being printed out. Now we can make use of this and feed it into the request, send it to the server, and see if the response shows us that we are logged in or not. Okay, now that takes us to the third important section of this particular problem, which is to find out if a specific username and password is actually valid. So we do not actually know a valid username and password, so we do not know how a response looks if we manage to perform a successful login, but we do know how the response looks for invalid login. The most obvious case is this message here, which is failed, please try again. And if you actually look at the response body, it should have that message. So it has this message, failed, please try again. Oops. And there it is. So we could try logging in with different usernames and passwords, and we could check if the response body contains this particular string. If it does not contain the string, then I think it's safe to assume that the username and password we tried was valid. So you could check this. So the res is the response object here, which we got after sending the request. So I could say res.bodyString. .count. So in this specific case, the response contains this value. We could see if the count is 0, and if it is, then we could say that the username and password was valid. Right. So these were the 3 major components you require to put your script together, and I have actually created 2 sample scripts, both in Python as well as Ruby. So you could try these out. You can copy the entire script, paste it in the multi-line shell of IronWASP, and hit the execute multi-line script button, and the script should get started. If you're going to, by default, the language that is selected is Python. If you're going to paste the Ruby script, or if you're going to write Ruby code, then you would have to switch over to Ruby, and you could start trying out Ruby examples. The blog post contains information about how to do the same script in Ruby. And yeah, one thing to note is before you run the script is going to pick the request from the log, and by default I've entered the log ID value as 1. So you would have to first set IronWASP as the proxy, capture the login request, find out what is the ID value of the login request, and enter that number here so that the script works properly. And that is pretty much it. If you're not able to crack the password using the username Jack at Pentester Academy, then you could try changing the username to admin at Pentester Academy and rerun the script, and that should probably be successful, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys give it a shot and find it useful. All right, thank you so much.